Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
What's up, y'all? It's been an interesting week, to say the least. This week has been very interesting. I came down with the plague. I think it was the flu. I don't know. It was awful, though. Genuinely terrible. But I feel better now, so I can actually, do the podcast and, not die and start coughing on the mic. So that's cool. That's fun. That's exciting. Another cool thing that happened to me the other day, I got yelled at by a customer for asking for his ID for his beer. Yeah. He actually got mad that I thought he was younger than 50. Because on the register, he was at the self-checks, and on the register it says, is the customer under 50? And I put yes, and then asked for his ID. To which he freaked out on me. I told him, well, it's just because, you look younger than 50. It's a compliment. And he was like, it's not a compliment. I clearly have fucking gray hairs in my beard. And he's cussing me out. He's screaming at me, whatever. So I told him he could show me his ID or he could not get the beer. He has two options. And so he showed me his ID. But I'm like, was that really that hard, dude? Literally all you had to do was pull your ID out and show me for 0.5 seconds. Obviously, his ID, if he was over 50, right? But when people think I'm younger, I take it as a major compliment. I have customers most of the time thinking I'm 19, 20. I'm 26. So I take it as a compliment, and I thought that everybody else in the universe would, because I'm essentially saying that you look way younger than 50, which is great. I'd be like, hell yeah, I look younger than 50. Fuck yeah, here's my ID, and I'd hand it over with no issue. But he crashed out on me. He was screaming at me. It was interesting. Just different perspectives, I guess. He was probably having a really bad day. Maybe that was the last straw for him. Maybe he was having alcohol withdrawals. Maybe he's an addict. I don't know. But it was insane, truly. Working in customer service sometimes is crazy, genuinely. Sometimes I'm confused as to why people take everything so seriously, But anyway, my name is Caitlin. You can call me Kate, jack of all trades, master of none. I'm a raging homosexual. And I'm passionate about life, music, and human connection. This is my podcast where I talk about anything and everything, and it's called Dude, What Was I Talking About? It's so funny because I say I'm passionate about human connection, which I am, right? But it's moments like those that I just described where I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not. Maybe I don't like people, And then I have to check myself and stop myself. And I don't know, I'm just such an empathetic person. Someone will yell at me and I'm like, wow, they must be really going through it to be yelling at what appears to be a 19-year-old child, I'm sorry your day sucks so hard. Mine was going all right until this moment. But I'm like, hey, maybe he just went through a divorce. Maybe he's an alcoholic and he's withdrawing and he really needs his beer right now. And I'm holding him up at the register asking for his ID, because that's kind of the law. Whatever. It is what it is. Very interesting, though, just seeing different perspectives and stuff. There's another lady, right? And she purchased a gift card, but she couldn't remember which gift card she purchased, right? And, of course, that's my fault. As the employee, it's my fault, right? That she doesn't remember which one she bought, right? So she brings it to me, and she says, which one is active? Which one did I buy? Because I can't remember which one I scanned. I was like, oh, shit, I don't know how to figure that out, lady, but I didn't say that, of course. That's just what I thought in my head. And I started trying to figure it out for her. Of course, it was taking me a minute to figure it out because, I don't know, I've never had to deal with that before. Most of the time when people scan a gift card, they remember which fucking gift card they bought, right? No, not this lady. She had no idea. She was like, I don't know which gift card it is, and she's crashing out on me like it's my problem and it's my fault, right? Naturally, it is my fault, right? I work there. I should know. And it's one of those moments where you think in your head, you're like, man, I just work here. This is just where I make my living. I'm here to pay my bills. I'm here to save up money and try to get on my own feet. But please, crash out on me about a gift card that you bought that you don't remember which one you bought. So whatever. She's going off on me. And then she proceeds to be like, I'm sorry. She was like, I'm trying to work on my patience. Yeah, because the Lord has told me I need to work on my patience. I'm like, was it the Lord or your therapist? Who really told you that? Was it your husband? Did he leave your ass? Who? I'm like, yeah, lady, you do need to work on your patience, actually. because I'm being very patient with you while you are crashing out and screaming at me about something you don't remember. Gaslighter to the max, right? Like, she's going off on me about something she doesn't remember. And she's like, the Lord told me I need to be more patient. I'm trying to work on my patience. I'm like, what are you doing? A bang-up job, lady. You're freaking yelling at me while I'm trying to figure this out, which is stressing me out. So now I can't figure out your damn gift card situation because you're yelling at me. Like, do you not realize that shit trickles downhill? Shit rolls downhill, dude. You're pissed off. And you're yelling at me, which is stressing me out, which is preventing me from fixing your problem because I can't think of anything but, man, this lady's a bitch. Like, there's nothing else in my head. I don't know, like, what do you expect? What do you expect me to do, right? Anyway, I digress. So she is yelling at me. I'm trying to figure out her gift card situation. And then she happens to be like, I figured it out for her, right? And she was like, oh, good. And then she was telling me she was in such a hurry the whole time. And we figured out which gift card it is. I'm like, this one's active. This one's good. Here you go. Have a nice day. And then she proceeds to tell me about the show, The Chosen, and tells me to start watching it. I'm like, lady, I think you need to read the Bible, actually. I think you need to go to church. I don't think I need to watch any damn show that you're telling me to watch. And she was just going off about the show. And I'm like, I thought you were in such a hurry. You were acting like it was life or death. You were in such a hurry to get out of here and you just couldn't remember which gift card you bought and blah, 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 blah. And now you're like, oh, you should watch this show. No, thank you. Actually, I don't want to watch the show. I may have considered watching the show if you weren't so rude, you know? And it just, I don't know, it just made sense in my head. I'm like, of course you would. You would. Of course you would. But then there was another couple a couple days ago. And they're actually really cool. They're asking me about 401ks. I'm a big finance nerd, right? So they're asking me, like, what my job offers as far as 401ks and matches and stuff like that. And we were talking finance. We were talking, like, you know, personal finance, which was super fun. I love that topic. I could talk about that all day. So we were standing there talking about that. And then she asked me, she was like, hey, can I pray for you? Yeah, you could pray for me. Here's the thing. Even though I am more on the agnostic side, right, nowadays, I do appreciate the sentiment, you know? There's other people that are atheist or agnostic or whatever that get offended when someone asks to pray for them. I don't. I think it's cool, you know, so long as you're not pushing your religion onto me. But praying for me is cool. Because to me, good vibes are good vibes, you know? Whether that be praying for someone or positive thoughts for someone or whatever, it doesn't bother me. People's religions never bother me, so long as they're not pushing their beliefs onto me, right? And so I let them. I said, yeah, go ahead. And they're like, do you have kids? Like, what's the story? And I was like, I don't have kids or anything. I was like, I do have a niece, though, so. And then they just stood there and prayed with me about my life and my niece, and I would get my finances together. Which I'm cool with that prayer. I'm like, dang, maybe I'll win the lottery now. I don't know. I think I'd have to play the lottery to win the lottery, though. That's the only issue. Because I don't like gambling, dude. I don't like gambling. I went into a casino. Tell me why. I went into a casino in Vegas, right? Because you're in Vegas. That's the whole thing of Las Vegas is you gamble, right? I went into the casino with $200, and I said, $200 max. I lose the $200, I'm out. Gone, right? I was playing, and I started losing the $200, and I was like, damn, see? Shit, why is this fun? I don't know. That's like the one addiction I truly do not understand is gambling addictions. I know people have them, but I just don't understand how, right? Because my chest was hurting, right? I'm losing money, right? I came in with $200, and I'm losing all of it. All of my money is just dissipating. And I work hard for my money. I get yelled at for my money. I go through hell for my money, right? Like, I don't have a cute little cushy office job. Like, I work for my money. So I'm losing that $200, right? I'm like real down. I'm like, fuck, I'm losing all my money. And then I went to the one machine, the Buffalo machine. Y'all know what that one is, where it's like, Buffalo, that one? Yeah, I went to that machine, and I started winning. And for a slight second, I started realizing why people have gambling addictions for real. Because it is kind of addicting when you're winning. I could see that. Like, if you win constantly, I can see why you're addicted to gambling. Because I started winning. I said, oh, shit, okay, wait a minute. I'm actually winning this. I'm actually doing something here, right? I ended up breaking even. I won my whole $200 back. And I took my $200 and I bounced. I said, okay, I broke even. I'm dipping, bye. So I left. And I never stepped foot in another casino after that just because I was like, man, I really just don't get the hype. I don't get the hype of working really hard and then losing your money, even if you win it back. It was just very anticlimactic to win it back. I was like, okay, well, I just wasted a bunch of time winning back the money that I had already earned. So I'm not into gambling. I don't know. It's not super fun for me. I don't understand those people that can sit in casinos all day. Although they do give you free drinks. So I could see it in that capacity where you're sitting there and they're just handing you free alcohol. But that's because they want you to spend money. So they think, oh, people are like, well, drinks are expensive. So they cut out that expense. Like, okay, we'll give you free drinks then if you think it's expensive. And then we'll trap your ass. Now you're trapped. Now you're going to keep playing because you're getting free drinks. And then when you keep playing, you keep spending money, right? That's how they get you. Which, casinos are important. They're important to the land that they, sustain and stuff. So for other people going gambling, that's cool. But it ain't going to be me. You are not going to see me gambling anytime soon. I just really didn't get it. I just wasn't a fan. I think it's also because I'm really into finances that, I cannot see the fun in losing money, even if you start winning after. It just wasn't a vibe for me. It just really wasn't. It was a vibe killer, actually. But yeah, it was crazy. But my whole point in saying that was they prayed for me and said that, they prayed that I'd get my finances and shit in order. And I was like, sweet, maybe I should start playing the lottery. Maybe that prayer did it. Maybe I will make it big. Maybe I'll be rich all of a sudden. But they were really cool. I don't know. I just don't think, going back to my original point, I think it was the same couple. They went up to one of my employees and asked him the same thing. I'm assuming it was the same couple. And he told them no, really rudely, and walked away, right? But I told him, I was like, you don't really have to be like that. I was like, it's positivity in any capacity. It's not like they're praying for your downfall. They're praying for you to succeed. I was like, so I'm cool with it. Good vibes is good vibes. I don't care where it comes from. If it's, if you think it's God or Buddha or the universe or whatever you believe in, I think positive energy is positive energy and you should allow it into your life in any capacity as long as it's not negative. Just no negative energy. But people praying for me and stuff, I've always been all right with that. It never bothered me. It's the sentiment. It's kind of like when people, when somebody gives you a shitty gift for Christmas and you're like, well, it's the thought that counts, That's the same energy, It's like, well, it's the thought that counts, It might not do anything for me, or maybe it will. Maybe the good vibes in the universe will pay off and I will win the lottery, Nah, they're a cool couple though, honestly. So sometimes, that's what I mean about human connection, though. Sometimes people are so cool and you're like, wow, I'm really glad that I met this person. And then other times, you're really regretting that encounter altogether, right? Especially when you're just trying to help somebody and then they crash out at you like it's it's your fault. I just think that's insane. I went to restaurants, dude, and they have majorly messed up my orders, right? And I've done one of two things. I've either left it alone and ate it if it was tolerable, but if it was something completely different, then I would nicely tell them, hey, so I actually ordered XYZ, and then normally they apologize and they fix it. I don't know when we got to this point in society where people have no grace for humans making human mistakes. People make mistakes. Your waiter's going to make a mistake. Your cashier might make a mistake. I don't know. It's just have some grace because some people are going through, I think everybody is, but people are going through things outside of whatever environment you're in right now. People are going through things. So why make it harder for them? Just have some grace. People make mistakes and that's okay. So long as they fix it and they take the steps to do better and be better at whatever it is, so long as it's not a really bad mistake. But if it's just like a customer service job where they mess up your order or they can't figure something out for you, just have some grace, you know? That's the thing that I like about human connection, right? It's that people are not perfect. And that's what I like about it. I like learning about people because people are never freaking perfect. And if you expect them to be, then you're putting false expectations onto somebody else's shoulders that they won't be able to carry, they won't be able to sustain. I just think everyone needs to be more patient, more empathetic, and actually care about the people around them. And I don't think that's a lot to ask for, honestly. I always go on these like little tangents, you know, when I start recording these. And it's just because I have a lot on my mind, you know, that's why I started a podcast, is because I got so much to talk about and no audience for it. So I was like, you know what? Not even no audience, but no outlet. That's the word. Like, because people listen to this podcast, which is so freaking awesome and insane to me, right? But I had no outlet for all my emotions and all my random feelings. And that's why I put it into this podcast. But yeah, I hope everybody's week goes really well. I hope you guys give grace and empathy to the next person that you deal with, whether that be at a restaurant, on the street, in food service. Because just remember, everyone's going through their own stuff, truly. And why make their life harder? It might be a slight inconvenience for you, but just don't be an ass. Like, it's so easy. It's actually so easy to be nice. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that people can't. It's genuinely one of the easiest things you'll ever do is to be a nice person and to care about people and to care about how you make people feel and to be empathetic and sympathetic for other people and what they might be going through and what they might be facing in their own life. You just don't know. And that's the point. That's why being a nice person just pays off. And I also just feel like putting good karma into the universe is just good for your soul. It's good for your future. I feel like, I don't know, as soon as I started doing better, everything started aligning for me, I guess. Like when I started making better decisions for myself and once I started caring about other people and myself more, I feel like everything started aligning. But yeah, I guess I'll leave you guys with that. I know this is kind of a shorter episode, but that's just because I've been slacking and lacking on these. So, yeah, I'm going to try to get better at it. Figure out when I can record and when it makes sense for me. Like I said, this week it was just because I had the flu, but we'll get back on it. We'll get back on the saddle here. But I appreciate you guys listening. I love you guys. And dude, what was I talking about?
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.